Christmas 1960 found Santa working overtime for my sisters. Now, technically, this story didn't happen to me as I wasn't yet born, but it is a rich part of my family's oral history. And as such, it has impacted greatly how I think about work and family. The year before, their mother had died, leaving behind a 7 and 3-year-old and a young widower working overtime to keep his family afloat. Our father was a colonial bread delivery man, and he also sold and repaired restaurant equipment all the way from Dothan, Alabama, where they lived, to Atlanta, Georgia. Now, the interstate system wasn't so sophisticated, so what today takes 4 hours to drive took around 9 hours then. And that meant that Daddy had to be away from home multiple nights a month in order to keep the money coming in. He relied on a network of nannies and housekeepers and the occasional cousin to take care of my sisters. But that was far from ideal. And Susan too soon became a child adult, taking on more and more responsibility for the care of Lisa, the younger. But that year, Daddy had an opportunity at a better job, one that didn't require travel. It was in Atlanta, and he had to be there the day after Christmas for a trial run at the job. His future employer had even invited him and my sisters to join his family for dinner on Christmas. But that meant that Christmas Eve and Christmas morning had to be spent in a motel somewhere near Atlanta. Now, my sister saw the flaw in this plan immediately, and sensing their hesitation, our father asked what was bothering them. Susan, the spokesperson, "Well, it's not that we don't want to go with you, Daddy. We do. We really do. But, well, it's Santa. We're just a little worried he won't know where to find us." Daddy thought about that for a minute and said, "Well, you know, I've been around a little longer than you, and in my experience, Santa's a pretty smart fellow. I mean, if he knows who's been naughty or nice all year long, don't you think he'll be able to find you on Christmas Eve?" Well, they liked the logic of that, and so, bolstered by his confidence, they ran off to grab their things for the journey. And Christmas Eve found them at the Alamo Plaza Motel on the outskirts of Atlanta, and after supper, they turned in. My sisters in one bed and our father in the other. Lisa was the first to awake on those pre-dawn Christmas hours, and as she looked around the room with great excitement, her heart sank. Santa had not been there. Her sniffling soon woke up Susan, who, looking around the room, realized what had not happened and tried to comfort Lisa, but she was only 8 years old. And before long, their collective crying woke our father, who asked, rather grumpily, "What's wrong?" Susan, in tearful tones, "It's okay, Daddy, but Santa couldn't find us." He turned on the light and looked around the room and pointed to the dresser. "What's that?" Susan got out of bed to find a folded piece of paper and a room key. Reading aloud, she said, "Dear Susan and Lisa, I was afraid the reindeer hooves would wake you, and as you know, that's against the rules. So use this key. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Santa." The key was for the room next door. I'm told when they opened the door, they just stood for a moment, taking it all in. The room had been transformed into a Christmas wonderland with little groupings of toys scattered all around, inviting them to play. And these weren't just little toys. Lisa told me they required some construction. She even recalled a kitchen sink equipped to take water from a garden hose. So not only had our father paid for a second hotel room that he could ill afford, he'd also spent hours unpacking, putting together, and placing the toys so his daughters would have a magical Christmas morning. Lisa asked him several years later, as an adult, how was it that he came to make Christmas morning always look so amazing? And he replied, "Well, I just put the toys out the way I thought they should go. And then I got down on my knees to see how it would look from your perspective, and adjusted from there. I think that's good work worth talking about. Thank you.